So the short answer is yes, within 14 days, the bill is automatically law. So basically, Ruto has done nothing. There is no withdrawal of the bill. It will automatically become law, even if he doesn't sign it. That is why I was saying people who are saying Ruto has conceded are completely wrong. He waited until this time because he knows that if he doesn't sign it within 14 days, it will be law. And he's already signed the appropriation bill 2024, which means that he is spending just as much as he was before. He said that he was going to deal, like yesterday, he was asked about the offices, the illegal offices of the first ladies and the second and third ladies, and he said he was going to not fund them. But in the appropriation bill that he signed, he allocated over 557 million to these officers. They're already receiving money as he was speaking, so he knew he was lying. Don't believe anything Ruto says. Don't believe anything his office says. Don't believe anything any of his cronies say. They are all just lying, and he's buying throughout history is to occupy all spaces. Make sure they can't move. Make sure they can't execute. Make sure they can't do anything. So that even if they took the money, they cannot spend it. Right now, if they cannot leave State House, they can't go to the 7-star hotels, they can't fly out of the country, they can't go to their mistresses, they can't enjoy the money. So eventually, they will just have to go. And if we are 1 million to 10 million strong, we can occupy everywhere, including where he is. And he would have to take that helicopter to Congo or to any other country that he deems he can seek exile in. But Ruto should have no free space to move, and his regime. Those who are thinking that this is something to be given to Rigiji should be reminded that Ruto must go includes the entire regime. Those who are saying the military will take power do not understand the mentality or orientation of the military. The military does not fire at citizens. They join citizens when citizens occupy all public spaces. That is recorded in history. They are not like the zombies that are called police, who shoot because many of them do not even know how to write their names. And I am not saying this lightly, because you have seen the robotic nature with which the police shot everyone who was not even threatening them. So let's focus on Ruto and his regime. The gentleman Colin Boyer said, let's not be legal or constitutional. I have emphasized, Clause 1 of the Constitution is part of the Constitution. When you are occupying public spaces and saying Ruto must go, that is a constitutional exercise. When you are removing Ruto through Clause 1, you are acting within the Constitution. There is nothing outside the Constitution. You don't need anything else. Anybody who is referring to a secondary legislation or some kind of act of parliament does not understand how law and constitution works. The Constitution is the supreme law. Any law that contradicts it is null and void. So any law that purports to claw back on our sovereignty is deemed null and void. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. Thank you, Daktari, for those sentiments. I think now we are clear. Everyone has understood the mission. We only have one assignment tomorrow is to occupy. Carry your bottle of water, carry your flowers for commemoration of the heroes that we've lost. Be in public spaces, occupy. Let's all be on the streets. We'll march on peacefully. and until Ruto must go is achieved. So the next speaker, please.
Can I just ask a quick follow-up question, Kinsman?
Kumbukeni, you are. I've seen you. I've seen you, but I think you have a network problem.
My friend, there is a lady who wants to ask a follow-up question. Maybe if you don't mind, you could allow her to ask.
Yes,
What's her name, please, Dr.
It's Nduku Kumbukeni.
Can I go ahead? The ladies that are here, I'm seeing Achieng, I'm seeing
It's me.
I'm seeing ladies, if you're in the room, kindly raise your hand.
She's saying her name is Nduku. Her name is Nduku.
Kumbukeni is the handle.
Kumbukeni, please.
Asante. All right, so...
But she seems to have a network problem because her nini has just been rotating.
Can you hear me?
Kumbukeni, can you hear?
I can hear her very well. I can hear her.
Okay, proceed.
All right, okay, thank you. So, Dr. Migona, just because Ruto was very keen to keep repeating the rule of law, and this is something that these criminals who call themselves leaders do all the time so that they can justify deploying the military on the people. So, and you have said several times that the military will not shoot on the people if the people occupy. I look at the Constitution, which is the rule of law that Ruto will use to defend his actions, and in one part, it gives the people the sovereign power, but right after it, it takes away the sovereign power from the people and gives it to the presidency. So could you please address that?
Okay, so let me answer you, Nduku. The Constitution does not take power that it has given in Clause 1. Clause 1 is not negated in any part of the Constitution. The following provisions of the Constitution simply says that once the people have delegated power to someone like the president, they would exercise that power. The delegation happens at election time. But if the people believe, for instance, that the president has not done what he was elected to do, Clause 1 can always be triggered by the people. And they do not have to go to their delegate, the person they have delegated power to for permission, to get back their power. That's like saying, if you have an employee and you have given the employee the terms and conditions of employment, there is a letter of employment. They are not supposed to be insubordinative to you. They are not supposed to steal from you. They are supposed to be answerable to you when they have done something and you want to call them to account. If they disobey your orders, you can fire them. And you don't need permission from them to fire them. So what I'm saying, the Constitution is our employment letter. We gave the president or Ruto a job to do. And for 2 years, he has done no job for us. He has been mangering all over the world, going to Washington. In fact, Ruto has been traveling every single week. He has spent billions of our money. He is our employee. We are the employer. He has spent billions without permission from us. He purported to have hired a jet to Washington without our authority. There is no constitutional power he had to unilaterally take our money and hire a jet. We have Kenya Airways. That is the mode of transportation for anybody who is working for us, because Kenya Airways partly belong to us. So what I'm saying is that Ruto has abrogated every constitutional provision and every term of employment, and he stands dismissed.
A quick one, sorry, Kinsman and Hillary, would it then...
No, but I think going back and forth is not useful. Once I've answered your question, I think...
You have answered it, but I was going to ask as a follow-up of that, would it then be a wise choice for us to put together an indictment that lists everything that you did, so that we're not just talking about it in rooms, but we actually have a document that is saying this is why we are calling you out?
When Ruto was disobeying us, he did not come with a list. And when he was disobeying us, he already knew the terms of engagement. He knew that we did not need permission from him. We don't need a list to indict Ruto. Ruto stands indicted by his very acts. Yesterday, he sealed his fate by not even feeling sorry for families he has bereaved, for people he has caused pain to, for citizens that he has harmed and killed. And as far as I'm concerned, and many Kenyans have said this, Ruto is out of touch. Ruto is a cold-blooded murderer, and such people should be punished and not rewarded. Any day Ruto spends in State House is a day too much.